Hadith number 26. The jinn can inflict the evil eye. So again here we give the title and then we give the a verse related to the title. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya bani Adam, la yaftinannakum shaytanu kama akhraja abawaykum min al-jannati yanzi'u anhuma libasahuma liyuriyahuma sawatihima. Innahu yarakum huwa wa qabiluhu min haythu la tarawnahum. Inna ja'alna shayatina awliya lilladhina la yu'minun. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ya bani Adam, or O children of Adam, la yaftinannakum shaytanu, do not let shaitan cause you any temptations or inflict you with in an easy manner by which you are taken out from bounties and blessings to trials and tribulations due to you obeying and listening to the shayateen, the whispers. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, an example, he says, Kama akhraja abawaykum min al-jannah. As shaitan took out your parents from Jannah. يَنْزِعُ عَنْهُمَا لِبَاسَهُمَا لِيُرِيَهُمَا سَوْآتِهِمَا. Not only did he take them out of Jannah, he also he was the means to expose their private areas, to embarrass them basically. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the shayateen, they are merciless, they are ruthless, they are evil. They are evil, they have no mercy in them. They have no mercy. They simply want to humiliate you as much as you can and inflict as much pain as they can. إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ وَقَبِيلُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. إِنَّهُ meaning Iblis, يَرَاكُمْ, sees you, who وَقَبِيلُهُ, he sees you, and this is emphasized. إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ, this is emphasized that he is watching over all of us. Because he's got a long life, he knows each one of us. He knows my father, he knows my grandfather, he knows my great-grandfather, and so on. So he is watching over us. He knows exactly who's our parents are, who's our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our tribe, our ethnicity, our wealth, what happened. All of this past, he has their knowledge. وَقَبِيلُهُ, and his tribe. مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ, they are able to see you from which you are unable to see them. Meaning that there is a veil on us, on our eyes, that we cannot see them, but they don't have that veil when it comes to seeing us. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا شَيَاطِينَ أَوْلِيَاءَ لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Even though there's a veil where human beings cannot see them, the disbelievers, however, form allies with them. Disbelievers, inna ja'alna shayatina, we made the shayateen friends with those who disbelieve. Meaning, even though there's a veil, this veil, due to kufr and shirk the human beings commit, and due to the sins, major sins human beings commit, the shayateen come near them and draw near them, and then this veil becomes sort of you can say absent. It becomes absent, especially for the kuffar. Especially for the kuffar and those who commit, or the Muslims who become kuffar by committing kufr and shirk, or committing sihr. Where is the link between this verse and the evil eye? Where is the link? So the link is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they see you, they and he and his tribe see you from in a way which you are unable to see. So Allah subhanahu focus on seeing, even though he could have focused on other matters. He could have said, they know your whereabouts, or they know, they are aware, but he specified they can see you. Yeah. And obviously, this seeing, they can see us, this seeing is not a normal seeing, oh, they can see us, that's it. They can see, it came in the context of harm. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began by saying what? Began by saying, do not let shaitan what? Inflict you, or try you, or make you go through fitnah, like he made your parents come out from Jannah and made them unclothed. Yeah? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they can see you, and he doesn't say, how can they harm you? Just by seeing. It doesn't say that. But it came in the context of harm. That means the seeing in of itself, the way they see us, the way they look at us is harmful. So just by them seeing us, just by them looking at us, they can harm us. And obviously they can harm us beyond that. So their seeing and their looking and the staring in of itself is harmful to us. And that's why we have morning and evening adhkar to protect us from their harms. And if you look at the morning and evening adhkar, you'll see them very comprehensive. For example, Sallallahu says, the one who says, Bismillah, he will not be harmed until, if he says it in the morning, he will not be harmed until the evening. Meaning that there is harm all the way until the evening. Consistent harm that's thrown at us. Similarly, the one who says, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-azim, he will not be harmed until he returns home. Similarly, the one who recites Ayatul Kursi during the day, he will not be harmed. The one who recites Ayatul Kursi during the night, he will not be harmed. So that means there is a constant harm being inflicted upon us, being thrown at us, and the minimum that is the looks and the stares from the devils, which in of itself are harmful. So here is the evidence of evil eye. So they are not looking simply to see us. There is a harmful look when they are looking with envy and jealousy. And obviously, the essence of evil eye is that the person looks at you with envy and jealousy. And that's why the evil eye inflicts the person. What's the essence of evil eye is the person, he sees there's a bounty on you, there's a favor upon you, there's a blessing on you, and he or she wants to take that blessing for themselves away from you. And so then, when he or she intends that, then the evil eye takes place. Yeah. So obviously, in essence, the shayateen and iblis and the jinns who are oppressive, they don't want any blessing upon the Muslims or generally upon the human beings. So in essence, they are giving us evil eye constantly, consistently, daily, regularly. Is that clear, brothers and sisters? I hope that's clear, inshallah. As for the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ saw a girl whose face had blackened. And Umm Salam and Nabi ﷺ رأى في بيتها جارية في وجهها صفعة فقال استرقوا لها فإن بها النظرة الصفعة سواد وشحوب. The Prophet ﷺ in the house of Salama saw a young girl, and on her face there was saf'a. What's saf'a? Saf'a is a bit of darkness or dark marks and spots where there's it can be red spots, it can be black spots, and there's usually pus coming out, blood coming out, and it doesn't go away whilst the person is getting older. It still doesn't go away. Then that is from shaitan. That's not normal medical spots. So some said istarqulaha fa inna biha nadra. Seek ruqya for her or treat her with ruqya because she has nadra, she has evil eye. The explanators of this hadith said this evil eye was from jinn. This evil eye was from jinn. This was given in the explanation of this hadith. Points of benefit. The jinn and shaitan can inflict us with evil eye. Okay, as we can sort of deduct from the verse in Surah A'raf, verse 27. Evil eye can cause the skin color to change or leave marks or spots. That's very clear from the hadith. In this event, the Prophet did not specify how to do the treatment, and therefore he may either be referring to the general treatments he has previously mentioned for the expert Raqi Sahaba to follow, or leaving it to the ijtihad as they see fit in treating her within what he Sallallahu has already legislated. Yes, Sallallahu didn't say treat her like this, treat her like that. It could have been left. It was left to what Sallallahu already taught, or what was already known from what was legislated by Prophet in terms of ruqya or evil eye. It could be, for example, reciting Falaq al-Nas and then spitting, taking some of the spit and just applying it on her face. It could be she reciting them and she applying the spit or the saliva on her face and on the spots. Number 4, the evil eye of the jinn and the shaitan can be treated and cured. So because Azam said, istaqulaha, treat her, that shows that evil eye from the jinn and the shaitan can be treated. If one questions, there could be a question that in this hadith, the explanators did say it was from the devil. Because of some narrations. However, if someone says those ahadith are weak, for example, those narrations are weak, for example, then how can we implement, or how can we deduct from this hadith that devils can give evil eye and it can be treated? The simple answer is if human being can give evil eye and it can be treated, then the same rule applies to the jinns. Because if human beings are evil and they're given evil eye and their evil can be treated, then jinns are more evil. They will obviously give evil eye. And if human beings' evil eye can be treated, then the jinns' evil eye can be treated because the manifestations are what? Same. There's no difference between, in terms of manifestation, there's no difference between a human being evil eye and a jinn evil eye. Is that clear? So even if those other narrations are weak, for example, one can still deduct from this hadith that the human evil eye can be treated as well as jinns evil eye or shaitan's evil eye can be given and treated. Right. Hadith number 27. Spiritual illnesses can be treated and cured through physical elements. I don't like the word spiritual, firstly, because spiritual usually means good, positive. So I don't like the word spiritual illnesses. If there was a better word that I could use, it would be much better. Anyway, spiritual illnesses can be treated and cured through physical elements. In reality, they are all physical. The reason I don't like it because in reality they are all physical. They are just veiled from us, that's all. they all are physical manifestations, but they are simply veiled from us. And just like when we feel tired and fatigued, or when we are sleepy and we wash our face, sleepiness and all of that is internal, right? How does washing the face to get rid of sleep? How does tiredness and fatigueness, for example, after you have a shower, for example, get rid of the tiredness and fatigueness or sleepiness? Yeah. Or if you feel physically dirty, you feel internally dirty, and when you then wash or bathe, you feel internally good, feel clean, and you feel externally clean as well. So how does that happen? Is because these are all physical. These are all physical realms. It's just they are veiled from one another. However, they penetrate at a level. They penetrate at a level and impact us at a level. Just like the sleep and slumber and all of that impact us physically. Just like the water can purify you and take away the sleep and slumber away from yourself, which is internal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً مُبَارَكًا فَأَنبَتْنَا بِهِ جَنَّاتٍ وَحَبَّ الْحَصِيدِ. And we have sent down blessed rain from the sky and made it grow thereby gardens and grain from the harvest. Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in that verse, we have sent from the sky ma'an mubarak. And then he gave example of this blessed water. We have sent down a blessed water, and then give example of how blessed it is that it sprouts. Due to it, it is a means to sprouting gardens and crops. As for the hadith, now one must say, where is the deduction that is the water cures? Where is the deduction from the verse? Firstly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ma'an Mubarak, we have sent down water Mubarak. And then he gave example. He did not limit the example to two. He only gave two examples. That doesn't mean that there are not other examples of this water, this blessed water doing other work. Yeah. For example, to give you an example, he did not say, for example, here, this water you can drink. This water you can wash clothes. This water you can bathe. Yeah. He did not say all of that. So, part of Mubarak is that the water can wake you up from sleep, can also cure you. Yeah. So this is a general word. Mubarak, water is meaning all water that comes down from the sky, clean water, pure water, and all of that water Allah described as Mubarak. Mubarak is blessed. It's blessed. That means that it can do what other things cannot do, or what other things fail, it can do because it is blessed. Part of that is curing. Obviously, we'll find specific hadith for that, how water can cure. The hadith is إن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم خرج وصاروا معه نحو مكة حتى إذا كانوا بالشعب القرار من الجحفة اغتسل سهل بن حنيف وكان رجلا أبيض حسن الجسم والجلد فنظر إليه عامر بن ربيعة وبني عدي بن كعب وهو يغتسل فقال ما رأيتك اليوم ولا جلد مخبة فلبت بسهم. We all know this famous hadith. The Prophet came out and traveled with him, Sa'd ibn Hanif, to Mecca until they were in the mountain pass of Kharrar in Al-Jahfa. In Al-Juhfa, so it should be Juhfa. The Sa'd ibn Hanif did a ghusl, bathed, and he was a handsome fair-skinned man with beautiful skin. Amir ibn Rabi'ah, brother of Banu Adi ibn Ka'b, looked at him whilst he was doing ghusl and said, I have never seen such a beautiful skin, not even the concealed skin, like the skin of a virgin woman. Sahal fell to the ground. So straight away, the evil eye impacted him. So here, evil eye, first he saw, but then he uttered. He expressed what he saw out of amazement. So here, Sahal was amazed by the skin. Sorry, here Amir was amazed by the skin of Sahal ibn Hanif, and he then utterly expressed it. And because of the expression, the evil eye was more. He affected him in a more manner. So the more you express the evil eye, what you feel, the more A'udhu Billah, and the more impact it has. فأوتي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقيل له يا رسول الله هل لك في سهل والله ما يرفع رأسه وما يفيق قال هل تتهمون به بأحد قالوا نظر إليه عامر بن ربيعة فدعا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عاملا فتغيظ عليه وقال على ما يقتل أحدكم أخاه هلا إذا رأيت ما يعجب تبركت. They went to the Messenger and said, O Messenger of Allah, can you do anything for Sahel? Because by Allah, he cannot raise his head. Meaning, since that incident, he has fallen ill, he is unable to gain consciousness. He says, do you accuse anyone with regard to him? Do you accuse anyone? So here that shows us that evil eye was normal. And giving evil eye and evil eye being given is part of everyday life by human beings, by jinns, by shaitan, by iblis. It's an everyday norm of this world of trials and tribulations. That's how someone said, do you accuse anyone? Yeah. Why did Sallallahu come to that conclusion? Because it was sudden. It was sudden, and the context shows that there could have been evil eye. Why? Because he went to do ghusl. He's a handsome guy. He went to do ghusl. Obviously, he took off his upper clothes, and so the context shows also that most likely evil eye took place. That's what Sallallahu asked that question. Also, it shows that there were other Sahabi there, and they all sort of heard what Amir said, and because of that saying, so all of these showed that this was evil eye. So Sallallahu sort of knew the context a bit, and that's why Sallallahu said, do you accuse him? Sallallahu also was upset and rebuked Amir in a strong manner, in an assertive manner. He said, "على ما يقتل أحدكم أخاه." Why do you kill your brother? Upon what do you kill your brother? So what that shows that there is a way to control evil eye coming from yourself. Envy, jealousy, there's a way to control it. That's another lesson in of itself. The best answer to controlling your evil eye and jealousy and arrogance and pride, I've said this so many times before, is to feed people. Keep feeding people. Rich, poor, young, old, keep feeding people. Keep inviting people to your houses and feed people. The more you feed people, the more you cook. Ladies, the more you cook. The men, the more you shop for people. And the more you feed, the more your chest, your heart, your mind will open. The more mature you become, more responsible you become. The more bigger hearts you'll have. And slowly, your closeness to these people will grow. Your dearness, your fondness will grow. Even your humbleness will grow because you will see men who are better than you, greater than you, loftier than you. You will witness women who are better than you, loftier than you, greater than you. Yeah. So it will also internally humble you, and so there'll be less and less evil. As I saw someone, he entered Medina, the first thing he said after he said Afshu Salam, he said At'amu ta'am, feed people. He didn't say feed the rich, he didn't say feed the poor, he simply said feed people. When you feed people, all of these illnesses of arrogance, pride, jealousy, envy, all of this goes away. Feed them weekly, feed them monthly, feed them quarterly, but feed people. ثم قال له اغتسل له فغسل وجهه ويديه ومرفقيه وركبتيه وأطراف رجليه وداخل إزاره فقدح ثم صب ذلك الماء عليه يصبه رجل على رأسه وظهره يصبه رجل على رأسه وظهره من خلفه يكفي القدح وراءه ففعل به ذلك فراح سهل مع الناس ليس به بأس. Then he said to him, I saw some said to Amir, wash yourself for him. So he washed his face, hands, forearms, knees, and the sides of his feet and the inside وأطراف رجله. أطراف is the ends of his feet, of the sides. And the inside his lower garment in a vessel. Then that water was poured over Sahal, and a man poured it over his head and back from behind. Then Sahal got up and joined the people, and there was nothing wrong with him. Okay, so this is basically you do wudu except rinsing your nose in the bucket. So in other words, you do wudu except rinsing your nose in the bucket. You rinse your nose outside. As same with the mouth. You don't pour the water of the mouth back in the bucket or the bowl. You pour outside. But what you do, you take from the bowl water into the mouth, and then you chuck the water out outside. But your hand goes inside in the bucket or inside the bowl, by which you take it to your mouth. When you wash your face, that suffices. That takes the evil out from the mouth and from the nose. Anyway, so except the mouth and the nose, the rest is like you do wudu. And the water must go inside that bowl. So whilst you're doing wudu, the water goes back inside the bowl, except as I said, the mouth water and the nose water. As for the izar, you wash, and this part a lot of people misunderstand. You wash the internal clothes of the bottom part of your body. So that it could be trousers that you were wearing, or it could be salwar, right? You wash the internal part, the inner part of and the hip area. You wash the clothes, not the hip in of itself. Is that clear? So here, this is a sunnah of the way doing it. But if this cannot be done, then anything of his DNA gathered by the water will suffice. So here, what Sassam gathered was in that water was DNA of Sahel. And the quicker you do it, the quicker is the impact. So it was obviously a couple of maybe a day or two, or maybe a couple of days, or maybe even later on that day, a couple of hours. We're not very sure exactly when the water was soaked. But the main point is, the quicker you seek, the better. Why? Because the negative energy of the person is obviously within him, but because of the expression, it is outside him also. And the more time it passes, the more it goes inside, the more less effective. So the quicker you seek the DNA from the individual, and the DNA is obviously is found on the person, and you collect that DNA, the evil energy or the harmful energy, through water. It doesn't have to be recited. It can be simple water collecting his or her DNA. Where do you get the evidence for that? Is izari, and the internal part of his lower garment. Yeah. So here we find that Islam is simply seeking the sweat of Amir. Okay, it was poured from the behind on his head and his back. So that's the Sunnah. Sunnah is to pour from behind on the head and the back of the person. So when you do ghusl, you pour it on your head from the back, and you pour it on your back, on your head, and then on your back, and then you can pour it all over your body. However, if you do it anyhow, it's not a problem. If you do it as a normal ghusl, it's not a problem. Inshallah ta'ala, they all suffice. Do you drink water for evil eye? It's better for you to do ghusl with evil eye water rather than drinking. Yeah. So, for example, if you've got evil eye, do you recite falaq al-nas and then do you drink water if you have evil eye? It's best you do ghusl with reciting water, Fatiha, the Kursi, Amal Rasulu, the Quls. If you don't have the DNA of the individual, or you don't know who gave you the evil eye, for example, you recite them and you do ghusl with the water with the intention of burning away the negative energy of evil eye from your body. You keep doing ghusl. That's more effective rather than drinking the water. Points of benefit. The evil eye from a fellow human being is true. It could be a pious person. It can be a pious Sahaba. They all are pious, upright. So it could be a pious person. He saw something amazing. She saw something amazing, and she forgot to remember Allah. And she or he just expressed what she saw of amazement, and because of that, it was attributed. The amazement was attributed to who? To Sahal, not to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the skin, right? So because it was not attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it was attributed to Sahal. What happened then? The shaitan came in. And shaitan came in and took that attribution, right, and inflicted. Shows how much hatred shaitan has for the human beings. Inflicted Sahal with the evil eye of Amir. So he took the expression of evil eye and shaitan inflicted upon Sahal this evil eye. So shaitan plays a part when you do not mention the name of Allah. That's what the mention of the name of Allah came. Allah baraktahu. Yeah. Allah idha ra'ayta ma yu'jibuka baraktahu. When something amazes you, if only you blessed it. Blessed it by saying Allahumma barik lahu, Allahumma barik lahuma, barak lahu lahuma. Or you can do any dhikr. Main thing is you don't let shaitan come in when you're amazed at something, or when you feel jealousy towards someone or envy towards someone. Main thing is to mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as you mention the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you attribute it to him, the door of shaitan to enter, to inflict evil eye on the individual, inflict that negative energy, is closed. طيب. Number one, the evil eye from a fellow human being is true. Number two, evil eye can affect physical limbs. Number 3, evil eye may be given by a noble person upon another noble person intentionally or unintentionally. Number 4, one should always have in the heart the ultimate appreciation towards the source of matters and bounties, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 1 or 2, make dua for barakah, blessing. And number 6, for killing can also cure evil eye. This is affirmed through the experience of inflicted people and expert raqids. The Messenger gave one of the best ways of curing evil eye, not the only way of curing evil eye. So some did not limit curing evil eye. It was on the young head. أعوذ بالله الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وإمامنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم. Sorry, brothers and sisters. Basically, the connection and network in Ghana is very poor. Sometimes I have to come out from the house to get a better network. Can everyone hear me? Ustaz Abu Ubaid, can you hear me?
Yes, Ustaz, we can hear you clear.
So we were on Hadith number 27. Point number 7. So we were on point number 7. There's a connection between water and cure for the evil eye. Point number 8. Spiritual illnesses can be cured through physical elements like that. So obviously, the title was that, and this hadith is an evidence that water can cure evil eye. So if you can cure evil eye, that means you can cure any other spiritual illness. Again, I don't like the word spiritual, but any other, you can say unseen illness that we cannot see. Water can be a means of cure, especially when the water is recited upon. As for evil eye, it can be cured without reciting. But what one needs to do is to get the DNA of the individual who's given evil eye. So the question might be, okay, I don't know who gave me the evil eye. What you do is you wet a tissue or you wet a tissue with water and you wipe the places that you visited recently from where most likely got evil eye. So it could be schools, could be a meeting, could be a conference, could be a restaurant. It could be even your house, you invited the guests over, or you went to a guest house, you were invited. Just wipe the gates, the doors, the door handles, where there will be the DNA, and then squeeze that water into a bigger bottle. And with that bigger bottle, have the ghusl 7 days, inshallah, with the intention of curing yourself from the evil eye from the people who attended or who you were present with. Hadith number 28. Children and the whole families can be inflicted with evil eye. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تَدْخُلُوا مِنْ بَابٍ وَاحِدٍ وَادْخُلُوا مِنْ أَبْوَابٍ مُتَفَرِّقَةٍ وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ إِنِ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَعَلَيْهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. And he said, Yaqub alayhi salam, O my sons, do not enter from one gate, but enter from different gates. And I cannot avail you against the decree of Allah at all. The decision is only for Allah. Upon Him I have relied, and upon Him let those who would rely and put trust in Him. Jalla wa ala subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, Yaqub Islam is advising his sons when they entered in Egypt looking for Yusuf alayhi for them not to enter together, for them to separate themselves and enter through different entrances. And the Mufassirin have all said the reason behind that was Yaqub al-Islam feared evil eye because they were all, mashallah, tabarakallah, they were all very handsome, including Yusuf al-Islam. And their handsomeness, they were tall, they were handsome. All of this came from Sarah, Ibrahim al-Islam's wife, who was the most beautiful woman in the world. So the beauty came from her. طيب. So here, obviously, they are children to Yaqub al-Islam. So if prophets, obviously before they were, this was before they were prophets. If the sons of the prophets can get evil eye, or Yaqub al-Islam feared that they can get evil eye, then obviously the rest of us can get evil eye much more easy. And the younger you are, the more cute a person is. This is the way they talk, the way they act. And in our culture, we sort of encourage the cuteness more in front of people. There's nothing wrong with that as long as the adhkar are done. And also, we should praise talents and attain talents rather than natural talents. And also, we should praise internal character and the wholesome character rather than physical beauty, especially a woman, because if another sibling is not that attractive or that they are not that beautiful, it can be detrimental to them. It also can be detrimental to the one who's being praised so much in the early years. And eventually, when he or she is is in a relationship or is in a marriage and doesn't go the way, it can be very, very detrimental for them also. And also, as they get older, obviously beauty goes away, and then it can become very, very lonely and detrimental place to be. So, in our culture, it's a very bad culture where we praise physical beauty, be it of a man or be it of a woman. We do not praise, be it front of the face or behind, the attained skills and talents that children have or people have, or character and characteristics, wholesome character and characteristics, positive character and characteristics that people have attained or have. We should praise that and give them thanks and appreciation for that, whilst always ultimately we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving them that talent or bestowing them that gift. As for the hadith, Asma said, O Messenger of Allah, the children of Ja'far have been afflicted with the evil eye. Shall I seek Ruqya for them? He said, yes. For if anything were to overtake the divine decree, qadr, it would be the evil eye. قالت أسماء يا رسول الله إن بني جعفر تصيبهم العين فأسترقي لهم أفأسترقي لهم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم نعم فلو كان شيء سابق القدر سبقته العين. So here Asma, she's saying, O Muhammad sallallahu the children of Ja'far is his cousin, brother Ali ibn Abi Talib's brother. The children of Ja'far, they are constantly inflicted with the ayn. Ja'far is very handsome. It is said that Prophet ﷺ used to look like Ja'far. Rasulullah used to look like Ja'far. So his children and his offsprings, they used to be inflicted with a lot of iron because of how they look. They're very cute, they're very handsome, and so forth. So Asma asked this question, فَأَسْتَرْقِي لَهُمْ, shall I do ruqya for them? Sallallahu said yes. Again, here Sallallahu did not elaborate how to do ruqya. You could be simply reciting, blowing on them. You could be reciting وَأَعُوذُكُمْ بِكَلِمَاتِ التَّامَّةِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. You could be reciting Al-Fatiha, Al-Kursi, and the Quls, the Mu'awwidhatayn, and so on, and just blowing on them or wiping them whilst reciting and so on. So the elaboration of curing ayn was not given, even though ayn can be inflicted by anyone and everyone, upon anyone and everyone. Can you go down to the bonus? Points of benefit. One should not be afraid of your life. As part of this life, one ought to take preventive measures and proactive measures when one is inflicted with it. So, because of this ahadith, what's happened in the Muslim world is that they don't visit one another. They are so afraid their child might get Ebola. And there's obviously so many superstitious matters that takes place within, from culture to culture, from race to race, from tribe to tribe, and so on. But the point is, there's so much fear amongst parents of Ebola on their children that they don't take out their children and so forth. No, live your life normally. Ebola is part of life. Just take preventive measures. What's preventive measures? It's very clear. Reciting the du'as and the adhkar, blowing into your hands, wiping your whole body. Do the same thing to your children. Let your children do it as well. طيب, and then go out. توكلت على الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. When you go بسم الله توكلت على الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم. When you enter into the house, say Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Say Bismillah, enter with the right foot. Teach this to your children. If they fear there's even someone looking at them, staring at them, teach them what to say. Teach them to say Bismillah, teach them to say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, teach them to recite Surah Fatiha, and so forth. Or if you see someone staring at your child, just grab your child, recite over them, take straight away, recite over them, and blow over them quietly, wipe them. And inshallah, straight away the Ebola will break. So these are preventive measures. As with practice, so now the Ebola has been inflicted. Take the proactive measures where take the DNA of these people. Now remember, DNA, wherever people go, they leave a spiritual DNA. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Yasin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that there's athar of everyone. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says about the earth that it will witness everyone's sins. Everyone's sins, good and everyone's deeds. It will witness it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that if there's a deed that was done and it was hidden beneath a rock, even if it's something so small like smallest of the ants, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring it forth out on the Qiyamah day. So wherever they go, there's a DNA left, wherever they go. Because everything is witnessed, the earth, the trees, the birds, everything becomes witness of you, of your good and of your bad. So there's a DNA. So wherever you go, you leave your DNA. Wherever people are, they leave the DNA. So all you have to do is wet a tissue and just wipe that area, and then you've got the DNA of the individual or the individuals. And then you squeeze the water out in a bigger bottle, and then you have a shower 7 days. Why 7 days? Because any of these days they could have given you evil life. If you know the specific day, then obviously, if you know, for example, Saturday you went to that place or your children went to that place on Saturday, then we give the ghusl on Saturday. But the ghusl on Saturday, you have to give all 7 days. Number 2, one should not stop children from going out or going to mosques and gatherings for fear of Ebola. As long as the preventive and proactive means are taken, then one should not one should not have fear. So I want to see if we can just correct that. One should have, oh, that's fine. One should have no fear. Yeah. SubhanAllah, you find masjids nowadays empty of children. One of the reasons is that because the parents fear evil eye. And I notice also because there's lack of children, when parents do bring children, everyone's eyes falls on them because there's no children except them. So then these parents are forced then not to bring the children anymore because all the eyes fall on them. Yeah. So the only solution is for all of us to take our children, our nephews, and our nieces when they're young to the masjid, right? And take the preventive measures and then take the proactive measures because evil eye will continue until death. Evil eye will continue until death, as one hadith says, it will go with you until death. So this is something, jealousy, envy, this is something that you cannot remove from the hearts of human beings and jinns. It will always exist. It can happen between husband and wife. It can happen between father and son, daughter and mother. Evil eye is ajib. They can be jealous. It can happen between siblings. So this will never go away. And who said that you're protecting people from the public, protecting your children from public, just because of that, you'll not get evil eye, or your children will not get evil eye from your neighbors, from your relatives, from your siblings, from your cousins. Who said they will not get evil eye from that? Maybe they'll get the deadliest evil eye from people who are close to you. So take your children to the mosque, masajids, and so on. Obviously, while you take the preventive measures of reciting with them, blowing, also teaching them, inshallah. Number 3, evil eye can take place continuously and it can be cured continuously. So continuously, evil eye will take place, continuously cure yourself. Continuously, it can take place in your children, continuously cure yourself. Now, just going back to Bani Ja'far, they were all cured, and they all, even though there was evil eye on them, they were all cured. They all grew up older, mature, they became rich, and so on, and the lineage continued and still continues till today. Okay, so just to show you, even though they have so much evil eye, alhamdulillah, they became rich, they became wealthy, they got married, they had children, and the lineage of Ja'far of Abi Talib still continues today. We'll stop here, inshallah. جزاكم الله خير. تقبل الله دعاءكم وصلاتكم وأذكاركم. تقبل الله عبادتكم. اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم آمين. وبارك الله في جهودكم. صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Any questions, inshallah, we'll take a few.
Questions. Shaykh, regarding the jinn, you mentioned that they know our whereabouts. Is there any specific ayah to be protected from them? I heard that you can recite Surah Yasin verse 9. وَجَعَلْنَا مِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سَدًّا. Is that authentic?
The most important is the obligatory ibadat. The obligatory ibadat are the most important. The obligatory ibadat which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, and the ibadat which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls them mubarak. They bring blessings in your house or within yourself. Yeah. Why? Because they are the ones that bring first the angels of rahmah, the angels of protection, and most importantly, before the angels, you get a nur. You get nur of these ibadat. So, for example, salah, for example, fasting, for example, reciting of the Quran, memorizing the Quran, or playing the Quran in the house, right? Sincerity, honesty, kindness,  donations, talking good about people, making dua of people behind the scenes, and so on. All of these obligatory internal and external ibadat bring nur, bring taqwa, and taqwa is the greatest protection against shaitan. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it very clear, Inna ibadi laysa laka alayhim sultan. My worshippers, you have no authority and power over them. Yeah. So the greatest protection is you attaining the level of taqwa, you attaining the level of a devoted, comprehensive worshipper or a strong believer. Yeah. Through worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Two main worship you focus on: the worship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and the worship that brings blessings, barakah. Yeah. And then there are many other means. Reciting Ayatul Kursi, keeping wudu, tayyib, reciting Aman al-Rasulu, reciting Bismillah al-Yadru ma'asmi shay'in fil ardi wa la bisaw wa samin alim, reciting when you go out, Bismillah Allah la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-azim. And then you can also recite the verses Surah Yasin and the verses Surah Isra also.
Next question. Sheikh, what can someone do if they are guilty of causing evil eye and now they have made tawbah from it? Should they also ask forgiveness from the individual that they inflicted, or give sadaqah on their behalf?
Give sadaqah on their behalf, and if you can give water to them, even through somebody else, and make it confidential. So you tell somebody else, that the other person, that I'm going to give this water to give to so and so, but obviously you make sure that he loves you or she loves you, and she will not break that secret. So then he or she takes that water, your wudu water, and gives it to the inflicted person, and he or she doesn't say who is it from. He or she simply says, this person thinks that he or she may have given you evil eye, and this is the water they have given
you. There's quite a few questions regarding the spots on the body. They're asking, what sort of treatment should they do?
As we said, if you know the person who given evil eye, just get the DNA wherever they sit, wherever they touched, wherever they went, the DNA will be there. Swipe it with wet tissue, wipe it, and the DNA will be on the water. Then squeeze the water out in a 5-liter bottle of water, and then have also 7 days, intending to burn away the source of the evil eye every day, inshallah ta'ala, and that will break the evil eye. If you know who the person is. If you don't know who the person is, then generalize the places you go to in the last week, especially if it was impacted within the week. Go to the places that you went to, wipe those areas, and bring back the water and have ghusl with the 7 days. If you don't know at all whatsoever, then go to the local rivers, local canals, local rivers, local streams, local oceans, and bathe there 7 days consecutively in a row, intending to burn away the evil eye that was given of that land or of that country or of that state or of that community. The bigger the ocean, the more bigger the intention you can make. The more inclusive intention you can make. So visit Atlantic Ocean, for example, that's a big ocean. You can make, for example, the whole world's evil eye. If you traveled a lot, you intend breaking of evil eye. Everyone's athar is in the oceans. Everyone's DNA is in the oceans. Because obviously they do also. So their DNA is in the oceans.
If someone has the habit of causing evil eye, does it mean they themselves are inflicted and hence casting the evil eye onto others?
Sometimes it could be the jinn that's with you. It could be the qarin shaitan, or it could be even a mas shaitan or a magician shaitan that's given the evil eye. It's not you. So yes, you could be inflicted, and thereby seek ruqya, inshallah ta'ala, especially, just staring at people. And there's a lot of jealousy. Every time you hear good news about people, your close ones, your loved ones, your friends, your companions, you get a burning sensation within yourself. You feel jealous about them. You feel hatred against them. Then there's definitely infliction on you, and also you need to work on yourself. As I said, feeding people is the best. Feed people. Feed people. If you can't afford it in UK, you can afford it in poor countries like uh, wherever there is a humanitarian crisis. You know, spend there. So for poor countries like Bangladesh, you can feed people like £250. You can feed around 200 people with the intention of breaking the evil life. So the more you feed people, the more jealousy, envy, arrogance, pride, stubbornness will go away from your heart. It's because the reason the shaitan is there is because you have some of this negative energy inside you. That's why it's residing within you. It's only strong because you're giving it some space. So once you work within yourself, then it will get weaker and weaker, and then you fight externally with the Ruqya treatments.
Can sleepwalking or talking in one's sleep be a sign of jinn-possession?
Not necessarily jinn-possession. Sometimes it can be simply it's not even an illness. It can be simple Hadith al-nafs. Your daytime activities came in your subconscious. So you're very active during the day, and now when you sleep, your body is still active. We had this rest, now it is active. The only difference is your mind is asleep. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be jinn-possession or sihr or evil or nothing like that. It can be simply your body is a very active body and it is awake whilst your mind is asleep. So not necessarily it's a medical condition, not necessarily it's a jinn-possession or sihr or evil or nothing like that. However, if along the sleepwalk, you go to the toilet, you go to the bathroom, or you try to get out of the house, or you're scared, you're shaking, or you're feeling very cold, or you see nightmares before and after, then that's more of a sign of okay, there could be sihr, there could be jinn, there could be evil.
Sheikh, I've noticed that on the 23rd of every Islamic month, I feel sad and depressed. What could that mean and what should I recite?
That could mean, so go to Iraqi and find out if it's evil eye or sihr or mas on that particular day. So go on that particular day to Iraqi and then find out what's the source of it. Once you find the source of it, then it's easy to cure. So it could be jinn entered on that particular day. It could be sihr that was done on that particular day. Or it could be evil eye that was done on that particular day. So once you know what it is, then the cure is very easy. Yeah. If you don't have a Raqi to go to, there's no Raqi in your area, what you do, the day before that, you prepare all the Ruqya treatments. So, for example, the resided water, the resided oil, the resided musk, the resided honey, the resided black seeds, the resided ajwa. You prepare all of that the day before that, and you intend one intention, burning of the black magic. Yeah. And then see if it affects you with that intention the next day. The next month, on the 22nd day, right, intend the burning of a magician shaitan. See if it affects you next day. On the third, intend burning of mas shaitan. See if it affects. On the fifth, on the fourth, intend burning of evil eye from jinns and shaitan. See if it's burning of human evil eye. See if it's So whichever one affects you, note them down from 1 to 10. The higher the number, the more impact, the higher the number you give. So for example, the mas shaitan intention affected you the most on the 23rd, 22nd, and the 23rd, 22nd night and 23rd day. Yeah. So that affected you the most. That affected you, for example, it was like 10. You put number 10 there, you put number 9 there. And the rest was like 0, or it was 1, or it was 3, right? So then what you do, after that, the next month, just focus on the mas shaitan intention. Intend to burn the mas shaitan on the 22nd and the 23rd, and continue every single day with do the Ruqya treatment every single day until the 23rd comes, with the intention of burning with the mas shaitan and the source of the mas shaitan, be it envy, be it jealousy, be it lust, be it mischief, be it oppression, whatever the source of him coming or her coming, intend to burn that source away and him or and her away. طيب, to the ruqya all the way to the 22nd. On the 22nd night, intensify the ruqya. On the 23rd day, intensify the ruqya, intending to completely burn the source and the shaitan, inshallah. Continue until you're cured from that. Then go on to the other intentions of majlis shaitan that affected you, maybe 3, evil eye, the jinn maybe 2, uh, evil eye from humans maybe was 2 as well. So focus on them each one month at a time until you find that when you make the intention and you do the treatments, there is zero impact. There's no effect. Then alhamdulillah, you are cured from that particular infliction.
The last question is, what about a mother who also feels like something is within her trying to turn her against her children? For example, when I look at my children, I feel like something wants to come out from my eye, and then my children start complaining to me about something, about a feeling in their eye. What should I do?
So I didn't understand the question.
So I think this is a mother who feels like there's something within her trying to turn her against her children. And whenever she looks at her children, she feels like something is trying to come out from her eye. And at the same time, her children start complaining about a feeling in their eye.
That's shaitan. Again, just make the intentions. The intention is, wallah, burn away the source of the shaitan that's inside, be it black magic, be it evil eye, be it mess, whatever the source is, burn that source. And you can specify one day, you can say, if the source is black magic, wallah, burn the black magic and the shaitan. Wallah, if the source is evil eye, wallah, burn the evil eye and the shaitan. Wallah, if the source is mess out of lust, Allah burn the lust and the shaitan of the lust. And then make those intentions and see which intention affects you the most, impacts you the most, and take it from there. What I can gather, Allahu A'lam, from what she's describing, is that the shaitan has entered through her eyes with the evil eye. The evil eye could be lust. Depends on the intention she makes, and she can find out, inshallah.
I don't think there are any more questions, Ustaz.
Hi, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Mr. Abu Ubaid. Inshallah, we'll see you soon and speak to you soon. Allah subhanahu protect all the Muslims and cure them from all the harms and evil, from all the sihr, all the evil, all the hasad, all the mass of shayateen, and all the sihr of the magicians. Allahumma amin, Allahumma amin, Allahumma amin. Allahumma rabban nas, adhan al-bas, shifan tashafi, la shifa, illa shifa. شفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس اشف أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاء شفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس اشف أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاء لا يغادر سقما. بسم الله يرقيكم من كل شيء يؤذيكم من كل عين وسحر ونصح يؤذيكم الله يشفيكم. بسم الله يرقيكم من كل شيء يؤذيكم من كل عين وسحر ومس يؤذيكم الله يشفيكم. بسم الله لقيكم من كل شر يؤذيكم من كل عين وسحر ومس يؤذيكم الله يشفيكم. بسم الله لقيكم من كل شر يؤذيكم من كل عين وسحر ومس يؤذيكم الله يشفيكم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.